Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Let's get into this. So, hi guys. If this is your first time tuning in, hi, hello, welcome, thank you. Get on in here. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. Not sure why we're not popping up, but you might have to just scroll down a little bit. No periodic table or alien talk. However, you already know the creator came through with a message. So, y'all, let me just give y'all the spiel, okay? The eclipse, the retrogrades, all of these new cycles. They're not necessarily new. They're just cycles, right? They're new to this timeline that we're currently on, meaning we haven't had them before. We're going through life, we're going through time, and this is a life cycle that we really, really need to pay attention to. All right, so I'm not going to get into dates or anything like that. I just kind of want to focus on the energy that is like floating around right now. First of all, a lot of people have been complaining about being tired. I myself, me personally, I'm done with that tired portion of it all. That's been over for me. But a lot of people who are experiencing their second level of ascension for this particular timeline. And when I say this particular timeline, from July, the end of July, beginning of August, a lot of things started to happen. We know we're about to be closing up the Mercury retrograde. We had a few different planetary shifts going on from July into August. So that is why. And then some of them are still in motion. As we know, Mercury is always going retrograde every 3 months for 88 days, something like that, right? You can just look it up. But yeah, the energy that is out into the ethers right now is pushing everyone to become more in tune with the ancestors that are low vibrational. Now, we did have a discussion about having a spiritual team that is from the dark side and how it requires balance, how we all need balance. And this is why the creator allows some of us to tap in. This is that, okay? You need to make room. First of all, let's just say this. You fight like with like, right? Yes, we know it's good to always vibrate high and you want to always operate on a higher functioning level, and you want to make sure that you are aware of the different things that you may be up against. And because you're high vibrational, you don't want to be low vibrational, right? However, there are instances where you are going to have to go low. Like, you know that saying, when people go low, you go to hell? Sometimes you have to do that. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you need to understand that you are responsible for the bloodline right now. Even if you don't feel that you are chosen, even if you're not tapped into spirituality, you don't have a religion, you don't consider yourself to be super religious or whatever, right? You still are responsible. So whichever the direction that the bloodline is going, you are swaying it that way, as the black sheep, as the indigo, as the starseed, as the awoke one, right? Whatever you want to label it as. If you are not into spirituality or religion, you're still responsible. The energy that you're carrying, the energy that you pursue, the energy that you allow to be maintained throughout this lifetime You are responsible. So you don't have to be a chosen one to understand that the things that you're doing is going to affect the people that you're connected to, right? You don't have to go to church for that. You don't have to fast 1,000,000 times a year. You don't have to have any relationship with the ethers whatsoever to conceptualize, right, that everything you're putting down, someone that is connected to you is picking up. And it's usually those that are younger than you. And one of the telltale signs of being able to find out if those that are older than you physically are younger than you in spirit is if you get to break certain chains off of them with your behavior. You are still the leader in spirit, right? So you have to make it easy for people to follow you. And you have to be of a particular vibration. Now, what happens is these lower vibrational ancestors, not angels, okay? Ancestors is a big difference. Let's just make sure we're mindful of that, okay? These lower vibrational ancestors are indeed trying to connect with you because some of them, they've earned their way out of the hot seat by protecting you, by connecting with you, by making sure you don't screw shit up any further, any more than they have. So that's the first portion of it. They have earned their right to raise their own vibrations. Maybe they won't be able to come into the life cycle that we're currently on, but maybe you'll be able to catch up with them in the next life cycle. And this is all going to be contingent upon your bloodline in the depth that is old, right? Because we know that sometimes we do so much that the depth of our bloodline gets paid by us. So they do get to come in. Maybe someone in the family is going to have a baby, right? And that will be the ancestor, and they get to clean up some of their own shit, whatever little small stuff may be dangling and hangling left over, right? But to be fair, there are people in your bloodline who they haven't done anything wrong, but they didn't do anything to fix and clean it up. And in the universe's eyes, it's all the same, sweet pea, okay? If you see a problem and you don't fix it, you're a part of the problem. That's how the ethers see it. Again, even if you don't feel like you're chosen, you can still do something to break the cycle. Like, if you know that you have, little nieces and nephews that are out here fucking robbing stores, breaking into people's cars, doing shit like that, stealing cars, and you don't do anything to step in to recalibrate, you're responsible. You don't have to be coveted with the Creator to step up. This is how you get the covet with the Creator. This is how you build a relationship with the Creator. This is how you build a relationship with the ethers, by doing what is right. Okay? By not allowing the scales to tip too far over. Now, granted, you may feel like it's not your place. You may feel like you don't have the time nor the energy to do certain things. And I think anyone would understand that, right? And maybe it's not your job. Maybe it's your job to just do whatever it is that you're doing. But if you see something, you say something. You need to be praying to the Creator and trying to find out what it is that you need to do to recalibrate your bloodline. What it is that you need to do to get, and this is a part of recalibration, being able to get those lower vibrational ancestors to come back into the fold to fix up whatever mess they made, right? Or maybe you are just there to get them, like I said, out of the hot seat, aka the lower levels, right? Some of them are trapped And we talked about this, those lost souls, those different spirits and souls that get lost because of many reasons. I don't want to get into that because that's a different topic. But, we've discussed it. And these are those souls and those spirits. Now, as far as spirits are concerned, if it's not a spirit that is assigned to your soul, you don't want that, right? You want the souls to be purified and balanced, not even just purified, but as balanced as possible. And the spirits now that are supposed to be attached to the soul, whatever that may be. Because these spirits, they too have to be eradicated or balanced out. If you don't cast them down from the bloodline, then they're quite naturally still going to be attached to the soul unless there's like a slate, like wiped clean. And we talked about that, right? Where the soul, the spirit, and the body, there is not like a full connection. So, and I would like to say that you don't even have to give a fuck. You don't have to fully understand. You just have to do your part. If you can do your part, then a lot of other things that are connected to you doing your part can fall into place. A lot of people who presume, the position of, hey, maybe I'm not the closest to God, and maybe I wasn't chosen by God. However, there are some things that I see that I can do to make it better. That is what brings equilibrium to the soul that is lost, because someone has taken the initiative to raise the frequency of the bloodline. Remember, our genes is what? A genetic sequence. There are links that are connected. So if one link is fucked up, what do they call it? Getting rid of the weakest link, right? If you don't do that, you are going to have a bunch of energy that is supposed to be connected to your link missing. And this is how you see entire families plummeting, going down. Nobody doing anything they're supposed to be doing. Everybody's addicted to something. Everybody's afraid of something. Everybody's trapped in these different cycles that are not abundant at all. Everybody is, sick. And when I say sick, I don't just mean physically sick. I mean emotionally sick, mentally sick, physically, just out of it, financially sick. Not having a good relationship with the Creator is the worst thing that you could ever do as any living thing, especially as a human. But the overall premise of this conversation is to start tapping in with those lower vibrational ancestors to start moving the bloodline onward and upward. Because these cycles are closing, we need to start doing this now, because a lot of them will get trapped and they will never ever be able to get back into the sequence. Even if you just started to work on it, right? Maybe you don't fully understand what needs to happen, but you need to at least work on not reaching out to them, connecting with them, meaning doing all of the things that are required to raise the vibration of your own body, and it will automatically allow the frequency of the bloodline to raise. So if that means staying away from certain foods, if that means drinking more water, if that means getting more rest, if that means, staying away from certain environments, your health is not just based off of, the things that you're eating and drinking. Remember, consumption is not just food and drink. It's everything that you're taking in, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you believe, the environments that you put yourself in. All of those things affect the bloodline, because just imagine being in a place where everybody's addicted to drug and nobody believes in God. How can you flourish like that? And what does that do to everyone connected to you, right? But I'm going to end it here. I do love you all. I hope you guys are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it's free. I love y'all. Peace.